Hiya! Welcome! So today I'm going to show you some additions in my Monty Python collection, and more specifically the Python and related, as one of these things technically isn't Monty Python, in fact two of them I would say really, but more specifically the Blu-ray and DVD collection. I've been a Python fan for as long as I can remember really, ever since my dad would have taped it off the television when it was repeated at some point during the mid to late 80s. I've spoken about my love of the six-piece comedy troupe from the late 60s onwards a few times on previous videos of various topics, often in Records Roundup, because I collected as many of the Python albums on vinyl as I could over the years, and I think the one that I needed to have a pretty much full collection, I got about a year or so back, give or take. There's other albums that, there again, you couldn't call them Monty Python works particularly, but stuff like the soundtracks to the Spamalot musical, He's Not the Messiah, etc. I haven't bothered with those yet. Maybe one day, who knows? Never say never is always my motto here. But we're going to look at Blu-ray predominantly, but we'll start with a DVD. And most of this stuff was bought from eBay, apart from a mail opening to do at the end for a brand new release. And unusually, most of this stuff I've never seen before. So let's get cracking on with showing you what I've filled in my Monty Python collection today. First thing is a double header really. It's the only DVD to show you. I think this series, or these two series actually, only ever came out on DVD. But it is a double set of At Last the 1948 Show and Do Not Adjust Your Set. So I've not seen either of these before. Of course I would have seen clips from them, certainly in kind of Python retrospective, certainly more on that in a moment. There was quite a few of these, or not necessarily this particular double feature edition, but the 48 Show and Do Not Adjust kind of separate sets. I liked the idea of this one as it was 2-in-1 and it represented a bit of a saving, although the other sets, the other DVDs that were available on eBay were all pretty cheap really, apart from when BFI issued, I think it was both of these series at some point on DVD. Ooh, that would have been maybe getting on for 20 years ago. Those editions, the BFI ones, go for quite a lot, and as a BFI collector I would have quite liked them, but we've got this kind of more vanilla offering here that offers 2-in-1. At Last the 1948 Show and Do Not Adjust Your Set, both from the 1960s. I can see a date of 68 for Do Not Adjust Your Set. I'm not sure about the 48 Show, perhaps it was the same year or maybe a year or two previous. 1948 Show starred John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Tim Brooke-Taylor, Marty Feldman, Amy MacDonald and David Frost, and it was a satirical sketch show, I suppose. And Do Not Adjust Your Set stars Eric Idle, Terry Jones, Michael Palin, David Jason and Denise Coffey, and that was like a children's sketch show, but adults enjoyed it as well. Bit of bump from the back, I won't go into it really. A little bit faded on the spine there, so I think, am I holding that the right way? I don't think so. Oh no, I was. I can't tell. I need my bins on really. So this was obviously left out in some sunlight at some point, but it doesn't matter. This was very cheap. I can't remember the prices, the specific prices for anything really here, apart from the mail opening to do. Just a quick look inside, no booklet or anything, and it is just one disc, but it's a two-sided DVD. So we've got what will be At Last the 1948 Show on that side, and then Do Not Adjust Your Set on that side. So the pre-Python series that most people are at least familiar by name with, if not more. And I'm looking forward to seeing both of them for the first time. Right, we move on to Blu-rays for the rest of it now. Now this next set is one that I'm trying to remember if I owned it many years ago, sort of in the early 2010s. I might have done actually, for at least a short period before I would have sold it before moving abroad. But this is a documentary series, and it's a phenomenal one, and a big recommendation from me to anyone who's got even a passing interest in Python, in comedy in the 1960s, 70s, etc. It is Monty Python Almost the Truth, the lawyer's cut. This wasn't too expensive, I don't believe. Pre-owned, but that's absolutely fine. And it's split over 2 discs. There is how many episodes in this series altogether? 6, I think. And it's got a few classic sketches, and I think some outtakes and extended interviews. So there's a lot of extras on here. So I think this series was from originally around 2008, 2009, and the concept behind it was, apart from the obvious, it being a good history of the Pythons from their beginnings, you know, before they formed to work on Flying Circus and the subsequent projects. Apparently, I can't remember which Python it was who said it, but maybe it was Eric Idle, I don't know, don't quote me on that. But they wanted to do an in-depth documentary series about themselves after being inspired by the Beatles anthology, which would have come out, you know, a good 15 years before this, I think. Yeah, it is very Beatles anthology-like in its kind of linear progression, and just how many interviews are done contemporary and how many clips are used. And I love Beatles anthology series. I've spoke about that before many times. Of course, I mean, this is different in a lot of ways, given that this is more about comedy, although of course the Pythons did release a lot of albums and had a lot of musicality to them. So I think I've seen this series twice before, maybe 3 times, but certainly haven't seen it in a good few years. And I'm really happy to get this Blu-ray set back into my collection, because I think I may have owned this sort of around 2010-ish. Next thing is something else I've never seen before, and I bought this on eBay just assuming it would be pre-owned. It is actually new and sealed, this, and it wasn't expensive either. And it is the untrue story of Monty Python's Graham Chapman, a liar's autobiography. So this is an animated film. Obviously the cover art is meant to look like a kind of Monty Python poster, and it'll have contributions from all the Pythons as they are listed up there as kind of cast members, really. Just something I've never got round to seeing. Now then, this is a 3D Blu-ray, and those are kind of obsolete now, but fortunately it has the normal 2D Blu-ray in this set as well. I can ignore the 3D disc and put on the normal Blu-ray when I get round to watching this. Plenty of extras in it. It says it also features Cameron Diaz and Stephen Fry, a bit of a random couple of people to hype up there. So it's a kind of animated journey through the life story of Graham Chapman, which I know quite a lot of. I'm sure there's some fine details that even I'm not aware of, but he led a fascinating life. Of course, he died way too young in the early 90s. I want to say 91. Just looking at some of the extras on here, trailer, feature commentaries, some private 8mm footage of Graham. Don't think this will be my favourite thing. I think by all accounts this got mixed reviews. It's got to be done in kind of a Terry Gilliam animated style, I would have thought. Maybe not, I don't know. Very happy that I will be finally getting round to watching A Liar's Autobiography, the story of Graham Chapman. Before the mail opening, one more eBay pickup, another thing that was nice and cheap off eBay, as all that stuff was really. I don't think anything there was anywhere close to £10. This is Monty Python Live, mostly, 1 down, 5 to go, the O2 London show from, was that 2014? I definitely had this on Blu-ray. It would have been after I moved back to the UK from Ireland, but for some reason I did part with my copy, probably when I was in one of my, I'm not really collecting any physical media, in fact I'll make some space and sell a load of it, which I do regret multiple times. There's a lot of stuff that I've shown you on this channel, particularly in the Blu-ray and DVD realm, is stuff that I have owned before, and I've had to sell it either for house move reasons or I just did it on a whim really. But really happy to have this back. Interestingly, I didn't actually notice this when I got it. This has got what looks like a proper autograph from the late Terry Jones. I'm sure it isn't, but I couldn't honestly say. If anyone else has this Blu-ray, do they all have Best Wishes Terry Jones on like that? That looks like a proper signature, that, which would have made this theoretically way more valuable than the price I paid for it. Does that signature match Terry Jones's? Because it's got a little intro bit in the booklet here. Yeah, it kind of does match it, really. That might be a legit signature of a Python. Yeah, I seem to be gradually collecting Python autographs here. I got John Cleese's in person in Harrogate a few years back, and then I also got another Cleese signature in a Fawlty Towers vinyl box set. While I'm not 100% certain, and obviously there's no certificate of authenticity included in here, but that may well be something that Terry Jones had signed for someone before they sold this on. Booklet's nice. I remember being impressed by the booklet. As for the show itself, I really enjoyed this. Yes, it was never going to live up to the Python of the 60s and 70s, and of course Graham Chapman had been deceased quite a few years at this point. Terry Jones, who would pass away in more recent years, he had started getting quite ill around the time of rehearsals for this, and he was just about able to kind of cope with doing these multiple live shows, one of which of course was filmed for, I think it was broadcast on Gold, the UK digital channel. I remember seeing it live and them having to basically blank out a lot of stuff because it started before the watershed. But very nice to get the Blu-ray again for Monty Python Live at the O2 London. And if someone can let me know if that might be a proper Terry Jones signature, I mean, that would be absolutely incredible if that was the case. It does seem weird that it would be his signature and no one else's on here. So I am thinking that is legit. Right, last thing, this is a proper Monty Python product, and it's a Monty Python project that I've never seen before. This was only out as of the date of me recording this yesterday. It took an extra day or so to get in stock at HMV, but I pre-ordered it a few weeks back. $29.99, so quite expensive for what it is, but it should be a nice item this, and we'll have a close look at it. Although there's something rattling in here, which shouldn't be really. We'll get it open and see if there's any damage to it. Hope not. It's 30 quid, this. I think it's the discs inside the case that are rattling around. So what this is out on Blu-ray for the first time and in a rather nice collectible steelbook format. It's Monty Python's Fliegende Circus. So this is the German edition of Flying Circus that they did for German television, unsurprisingly, in the early 1970s. 1971 possibly, I'm seeing that date on the back here. They did two specials for German television. I think they're both 45 minutes each. I think one of them, the first one, they actually didn't learn German, unless any of them only knew some German, but they kind of learnt their lines in German and then performed it in the native to Germany language. Duh. The second one, they just performed it in English and then it got dubbed over after. I think that was a quicker process, really, than them trying to reshoot a load of sketches and rewrite them in German and everything. So this has come out on Blu-ray for the first time. I think it has had a DVD issue in the past, but it will have been tarted up, presumably. When I saw that this was announced, I thought, you know what, I think I want that. I've got all of the normal British Flying Circus on Blu-ray. I've got the films, and when I decided that I would pre-order this, I thought, you know what, there's some other gaps to fill. So I got all this stuff as well from eBay. So let's have a closer look at this, because I don't show steelbooks that often on the channel. I have done, but I don't buy that many. I do like them, even though when you think about it, they're not exactly essential, are they? But I'll take it out the cellophane. Be a little bit careful, because I think it's one of those steelbooks where you kind of have to take this wraparound outer bit off and then put it somewhere safe. In fact, it's stuck down. I wonder if I can get it open just slightly. Don't think I can really. I'll blow it. Shouldn't really do it with my knife because it's a bit too sharp, but let's take one of these sticky bits off just so that we can get in it. I'm being very careful here not to damage the case or the bit. That just folds over like that. So now we can get in it. Ah yes, it was loose, look, the disc. Steelbook feels kind of nice and smooth. Doesn't feel as heavy as some steelbooks that I've encountered in the past, but perhaps they're using cheaper steel or cheaper whatever material it is, but they're just calling it steelbook. Nice collector's piece that, yes, it says presented in high definition, extensive restoration from the original sources. The two shows are broadcast in January and December of 1972, by the way. There's an outtake from the first show and an outtake from the second. There's also a Monty special and a restoration demo. Nice thing that, is it worth £30? It might be something, depending on the availability of it, that gets reduced quite soon. Or it might have been a must-have for Python collectors the world over, and it's already a rarity. I'm guessing probably not. I'm glad to have it. It'll be something interesting, something I've never seen before in the Python realm. Their German remake or reshoot kind of certain sketches that they thought would translate well to Germany. Monty Python's Fliegende Circus. And that was a look at the holes filled in my Monty Python collection. Is there any left to do? Not really. I mean, I could kind of upgrade certain things because the DVD set that I've got of the films is just DVD, and I know you can get those all on Blu-ray. I think most of them, if not all, are now out on 4K, but I'm happy enough with the box set, and it was a gift as well from a friend a few years ago. So I'm not really intending to upgrade that DVD box set. It's a nice item and I'm happy with the quality of each film within it. What am I most looking forward to out of all this? Even though I have seen it, I know how excellent Almost the Truth is. So certainly can't wait to watch that again. But I'm looking forward to it all. And it's just nice to get a new Python release, or re-release technically, with the Fliegende Circus Steelbook. So thank you all for watching this today. Hope you enjoyed it, with special thanks that go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please do join me again next time for my next DVD and Blu-ray collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!